Welcome to another powerful episode of Peace Pipe TV. My name is Micco Wolf with my lovely co-host.
Phoenix Nadie, peace and blessings to everybody. We're so grateful you're here. Thank you for tuning in. Those over on YouTube, those over on Facebook, thank you so much. We have a very wonderful show for you guys today. We're going to be talking about occultism and spirituality as it pertains to the so-called African Americans here in America, or Indigenous Americans. And our special guest is a gentleman who has been in this business and in this game for a very long time. I've learned a lot from him. We've been friends for a good while. And without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring him up. His name is Magick La Croix. Magick La Croix, thank you so much for being here. How are you, beloved?
Absolutely.
Thank you for having me. I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. We are excited and happy to have you here.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
For those of you who do not know, I am Magick La Croix. Okay. Is that
I think it's kind of like can't really hear you.
uh, Magick La Croix is the name that I go by. I've been, like she said in the introduction, I've been in this game for about 27 years. You know, long time. I spent 10 years within Wicca/witchcraft, learning that, and then I turned to the dark side once I learned from Bobby Hemmett when I discovered him and his teachings, as well
Yeah,
as Azazel Bay, Phil Valentine, and all the modern teachers. So
absolutely.
I've traveled this journey for a very long time. Uh, I have delved deeply into voodoo, all the ATRs, Palo Mayombe, Necronomicon, Gnosticism, you name it, I pretty much have done it. You know,
Mm.
so I finally decided to offer my services for sale. So I still do spell work now. I have a YouTube, Patreon, and my platforms basically is for the beginner because I felt like I traveled this journey for a long time, and if anybody wants to find out how to begin, it wouldn't have to take so long if I had had a mentor or a coach to coach me
Yeah.
through all this. So I learned a lot from trial and error, failing a lot, you know, getting my butt kicked, having some terrifying experiences. So that was my main goal for creating the YouTube channel. So that's a little bit about me.
Awesome. Awesome. So, look, we already have a question for you, and it's a pretty good question here. Um, we may as well go ahead and start it, being that whenever anybody sees occultism or spirituality, a lot of the times they want to ask this question here: what is voodoo?
Mhm. Yeah. Voodoo is basically ancestor veneration. You know, it's pretty much a religion over there in Africa and West Africa and stuff. You know, they have their traditions, and in order to get into those traditions, you have to be initiated. In order to find someone that's reputable, who knows what they're doing, it's a lineage pretty much passed down. That's what
Mm,
voodoo is. It's not the Hollywood propaganda that you probably heard. You know what I mean? It's
mhm.
not evil. It's nothing like that. At the base of it is ancestor venerations. So yeah, we've been lied to about that. You
Oh
know.
yeah.
You know, back in the day, like, and my grandmother, my great grandmother, so on and so forth, when they talked about the things that they did in church, and I'm not talking about the way church is nowadays, I mean like old school, down home, in the back of some shed or something, having some real church.
Mm.
It was to me very similar to some of the practices of voodoo and hoodoo.
Mm.
How do you feel about it? Do you agree with that?
I do. I do. Hoodoo is a like a hodgepodge of uh, Catholicism, and voodoo and Native American spirituality and shamanism. Whereas voodoo is pretty much a spiritual, a religious practice. You know what I mean? Like I said earlier, you have to go get initiated in order to learn from someone. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But some of the practices of the church do come from voodoo and hoodoo and spirituality. Period. Especially hoodoo.
Right. Let me see. I think we had a few questions in here. I'm sorry, you guys. I know there's an
Question.
echo. We've been trying to fix it.
Okay.
Technical difficulties.
Just bear with us. It's not. They say it's not
Yeah.
that bad though. This guy
All
right here
right.
has a question.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Say that.
Actually, it's woman. I apologize. She's asked,
Yeah.
"How does he feel about the Haiti Revolution?"
Well, they won. You know, they were fighting against oppression, so
Mm-hmm.
it was needed. They called on their ancestors. They called on occultism, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
What they say is hidden, and we've gotten away from that. They've got us scared. I'm sorry. They got us scared of our own spirituality. There's nothing evil about voodoo. It's just they put it out for so long that this is evil and they sacrifice babies and all this other nonsense. It's just not true.
That's
So, like I said, they won. They won their independence. So that should tell you, you know,
Mm-hmm.
something about it.
right.
Right, and they practice voodoo.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
So you brought up occultism. What exactly is occultism?
That which is hidden. That's what the word literally means. Hidden.
Mm-hmm.
It's hidden
Mm-hmm.
knowledge. You know, again, they've hidden all of our own practices from us, made us this powerless, docile, weak people. Our spirituality was a part of us. You know what I'm saying? Hell, our hair was a part of our spirituality. You see what I'm saying? So, it's all, everything has been hidden from us. Even now, today, they still try to hide certain things from us. The bad part about that is that people actually listen. You know,
They're saying that it's a distortion. They can't hear you.
I'm sorry. How about now? I'm not sure what to do.
It's still kind of a distortion.
See something.
Still. Okay.
I'm sorry about that. I was tested. It said if we was having issues to test it.
Miss Kendall says she can hear you.
Yeah, I can see the chat.
Oh, no, cool.
Yeah. I forgot where I was at. Can y'all still hear me? Am I cool?
Yes.
Okay. Cooking with grease now.
I like that.
I like that too. What was I saying? Yeah. So when people hear the word occult, like back when I was starting my dark side journey, to say you was an occultist get you funny looks, But all it is practicing, is going within and practicing you. Pretty much, it's all you. This is something that Bobby Hemming has taught, the master teacher Azazel Bay as well. All these teachers taught us that, But still, when people still hear the word occult, they get kind of frightened. You know what I mean? But it's all you. Other people know who we are. We don't know who we are.
Absolutely. Now, in the Bible, you and I, we talked about this, but in the Bible, in the book of Leviticus, where they talk about chopping up the animals and sprinkling the blood on the altar and sprinkling the blood on the people. Would you say that that's almost like a characteristic of voodoo?
Absolutely. They said they do. That was part of voodoo, was the animal sacrifice. You
Absolutely.
know, but they look at it differently than we. We kind of look at it as barbaric, but this is a part of the culture. You know what I mean? But yeah, like you said, the Bible contains elements of voodoo, and that's why a lot of hoodooists use the Bible in their practices. They use the Psalms and they use other sections of it. So, yeah, absolutely.
That's deep. I like that. Hey, Phoenix, we can't hear you.
I didn't say anything. Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
Sorry about that. I'm trying to help this echo thing. But as far as like indigenous spirituality, those of us who've always been here in America, are the traditions here with those individuals pretty much the same as those who do hoodoo, voodoo, or root work, or um, even Wicca, or those just those different ancient traditions. Like, are they similar? Because I know a lot of people go back into those times like Salem, the witch trials, and all that stuff, and I hear a lot of stories, even from people that look like us, that it pertains to them. These are the things that they were doing. They would say that this was in their family from generation to generation and generation and generation. How does that tie in with our indigenous spirituality?
It's a funny thing that you said, you mentioned Wicca, because Wicca was founded in 1954. Our spirituality goes beyond that, way beyond that. You know what I'm saying? So you can think of these traditions, it just depended on geographical locations. You can think of these traditions as pretty much cousins, because you're going to find certain elements in other things. You know what I'm saying? You'll find certain elements of voodoo in hoodoo and in witchcraft or Wicca. Wicca is the religion, witchcraft is the practice. You know what I mean? I see a question in there. Should I go ahead and answer that, or
Absolutely. Feel free.
okay? Do I believe in God? Probably not the way the masses believe in God, a supreme being. Yeah, I believe we're all part of the source. I believe it that it's like, think of the ocean. If you think of the ocean and all the properties of the ocean, if you take a drop out of that ocean, that little drop contains all the properties of the ocean still on a smaller scale. And that's what I think we are. We are gods with potential. So we have the potential to be gods. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
It says that in the Bible. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? So yeah, I believe in God, but I believe in me. I believe in my own personal God, me. Hope that answers your question.
Absolutely. Nothing wrong with that other.
Right.
Right.
Somebody says right here, George Richard, he says, isn't that something they use the Abrahamic religions to kill and beat us, then tell us our ancient worshiping ways are evil and barbaric?
Mm. He's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. Um, I grew up Catholic, and one of the things we learned was that, y'all been to school, and they taught us that, we was nothing but slaves. But our
Hmm.
history is so rich. They taught us that we're not related to Babylonians and Akkadians, Assyrians. You see what I'm saying? Or Phoenicians. All those people were melanin dominant people. Okay?
Absolutely.
Like I said earlier, cousins. Just different cultures and different geographical locations.
Absolutely.
Mhm. You brought up being a Catholic. There is, I want to say, the mysticism side, I guess, of Catholics would be Santeria.
Mm. Hmm.
Do you know a lot about Santeria?
I do. I do. I've studied a lot, but I got to the knowledge of all this the hard way. You see what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So if I can help somebody not travel such a long and hard journey, then that's what I aim to do. But Santeria, I think I have a Santera in my neighborhood, and I found her by accident. You know,
Mm-hmm.
again, Santeria, Palo Mayombe, Voodoo, the
Mm-hmm.
ATRs, they're all like cousins. You're all gonna find, you'll find a Shango in Santeria, you'll find a Shango in Voodoo. You'll find a Oshun in Santeria, you'll find Urzuli in
Mm-hmm.
Voodoo. You see what I'm saying? The same energies, slightly different. You know what I mean? That's really all it is. Think geographical locations.
Right.
See what I'm
Right.
saying?
It's like all the different forms of energy healing, how they call different the life force energy different by different names. You have ki, you
Right.
have chi, prana,
Hmm.
all of these different names of it. So really, you can look at all of the Loa, the Orishas, all of these things and just aspects of energy.
Right. Right.
Hmm.
Absolutely. Because you're gonna find in voodoo you'll find veves, what they call veves,
Hmm.
right? But in Palo, you will find they're called firmas. Same thing. See what I mean?
Sigils.
Sigils.
Ah, okay.
You see what I'm saying? They differ. And just like in this book, Brazilian Palo Primer, you'll find same thing. You'll find different sigils or firmas or veves. See what I mean? Same thing, different aspects. Cousins. I like to use the word cousins. Like when I'm around cousins, people
We have
know
some
we're related.
distortion again.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. I wanted you to get your point out clear.
Absolutely,
I'm
absolutely.
sorry. It's fine. Uh, should I try to test this again? Let's see.
While we get this fixed, I hope you guys can hear me okay. We just want to say thank you again to everybody for being here, bearing with us. Um, as someone said, that this is a powerful show. Yes, it's very deep.
Absolutely.
Um, it helps us to understand our traditions and things. So I'm very excited for it. We got it sounds clear now. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you finish your thought.
Oh man, what was I saying?
they,
What was I
they don't
saying?
want this show out. That's why. This is powerful.
Cousins. I remember saying the word cousins. Yeah.
And we're talking about the similarities of
Yeah, similarities. Right, right.
mhm,
Similarities. Like, um, this Apollo book, but this is also a Apollo book. You see what I'm
mhm,
saying?
Mhm.
Brazilian Paulo. And then you got Paulo from the Congo. You know what I mean?
mhm.
One more time. I hate to be redundant, but one more time. Similar energies, similar spirits, just a little bit different. Like when I'm okay, that's what I was saying. When I'm around my cousins, people know we're related. You know what I mean? Um, that's all it is. It really is. But they put a lot of fear into us. Period. You know, so we wouldn't want to actually explore it at least. Not even try and read it or anything.
Mhm.
Most of us like the church, and
Mhm.
that's just the way it is. You know,
This person right here says the church demonized it.
absolutely.
Yes. Yes.
Demonizes it and uses it.
And uses it. You're
Somebody
exactly
asked
right.
that question too.
Mhm.
Absolutely right. A perfect example is the King James Bible was written by King James. I'm sorry, but he's also the same person that wrote a book on demonology.
Demonology.
You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So, I mean, to answer somebody's question on here, um, do they use us against us? Absolutely, absolutely. Because now I don't want to offend anybody who's into Christianity, but you're sitting there praying and waiting for someone in the sky to save you or to solve your problems and just having faith. Whereas spirituality says, hey, get off your behind and do something about it. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
tap into your own innate power to make things happen, to enrich your life.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
So they got to keep us
Honestly,
in fear.
mhm. Honestly, I feel like they want to strip us from anything that keeps us in our natural state of being.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's taking us away from our spirituality, taking us away from that which keeps us connected to the earth, to
Mm.
the cosmos, to the most high, whatever it is, they're going to take it, they're going to pervert it, and they're going to try to give it back to us all distorted.
Right. Great point. I love the way you put
Hmm.
that. I mean, they did the same thing with our hair. They act like,
Hmm.
our hair was considered our connection to the universe. They are our antennas. One of the things they did when they first conquered people here in the Americas was cut their hair. You see what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Um, but yeah, yeah, great point. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah. And see, you brought up the hair. Like, it's a powerful thing too. Like, it's almost like everything that is natural to us is going to be very significant in the things that we did. We honored our
Hmm.
hair. We understood
Yes.
why our hair grew
Right.
the way it did. We understood the
Right.
protection that it gave us.
Right.
We understood the importance of the sun. We understood the
Right.
importance of the wind, the water. Even
Exactly.
those who want to deal just in indigenous
Mm-hmm.
spirituality, as reverencing the elements and things around us, it's still the same thing. Even in those practices, we still reverenced, and in voodoo and all those things, we still reverence the things that sustained us, the things that gave us life.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Just like he said, just different cultures.
Right.
Hmm.
Just
Hmm.
different cultures. But again, the church has had such a massive influence on everybody. People would rather
Hmm.
go in there and have faith and not go to hell, to some mystical hell. You know what I'm saying? So they did a good job, honestly, on scaring us away from
Hmm.
our spirituality.
Yeah.
Absolutely, they did. Because if you mention voodoo around some people, they just get spooked out.
Right.
Terrified.
Right. They do. You're absolutely correct.
They don't know what it is. But the crazy part to me is they don't know what it is, but they barely know their Bible, but they follow it religiously.
Right.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah. I mean, somebody said that uh, why do they? I was trying to answer. Camille asked, why do they scare us with it? But I think Phoenix already answered that question. Anything that takes us away from our natural ability, they don't want that. They want people who rely on them and the government. Or was I supposed to say that? Should I say
You
No,
good?
you fine.
You
Speak your
good?
mind.
Right.
Everybody know what Peace Pie TV is. You're going to get it like it is. You're going to hear it like it is.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Somebody else said, "What are the benefits?" Well, the benefits
Hmm.
is since I've been on this journey, there's no problem that I have that I can't solve. Me, you know, going into ritual, calling on certain deities, and solving my problems. That's the one benefit everybody should want. You know, and no stress. You see what I'm saying? Anything, anything you can think of, spirituality really can solve it. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I just want to put that out there.
One of the wonderful things I learned from Bobby Hemmett, I'm sorry, yeah, Bobby Hemmett and Brother Panic, rest his soul,
Mm.
was that the deities, the Loa, the Orisha, so on and so forth,
Mhm.
are like just tangible reminders of the energy and what's within you.
Absolutely. I mean, I have a fondness of saying this that everything that's in the universe is within you.
Hmm.
Everything. You see what I'm saying? Every element, everything. So all of those God-like attributes is already within you. It have to be awakened
Mhm.
though. Sometimes, you gotta awaken at yourself. Well, not
Right.
sometimes, all the time.
Oh,
You know what I mean? But again, it comes down to them scaring us. There's nothing outside of you that can harm you. Let me put it that way.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? But they got us believing that there's one person up in the sky somewhere looking at us and judging us and all this other nonsense. It just sounds more ridiculous as I become an adult, But people still believe it though.
Right. I don't knock them. I feel like people have to start somewhere.
They do.
I mean, I
They do.
can't I can't knock where I started. I went to church.
Myself
I
too.
started. I
Me
started
too.
when I was young.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but it led me to get to a point of discovering everything else. I'm a watcher. I watch everything. So as I
Okay.
advanced in the church and got to being a youth minister and then being groomed to be an evangelist, I started to seeing certain things. And it was like, that don't sit well with me. And I feel like I'm losing my connection to the creator because it started to become more of this false structure.
Right.
It's like,
Right.
okay, we're gonna get away from what's real with it now. Now you got to see this. We got to bring in this money so we can pay for this, pay for that, and you got to make this money. And it just became this greedy thing to me. Not knocking nobody's church, not knocking what's happening in your church, but this was my personal experience. At that point, it was like, you know what? I have to start asking questions. I have to start because that's what they teach you. Don't question God,
Right.
right?
Right.
So I had to
Yeah.
start asking questions.
Yeah. Absolutely. I say never throw away what you learned. It can still be useful.
Right.
Learn it all, and I had a thirst for learning it. I couldn't find a teacher, I couldn't find a mentor, I couldn't find a coach, so I had no other choice but to reach out to these deities by myself. You know, sometimes it worked, a lot of times it didn't, but I learned and I grew from that. You see what I'm saying? So, but I'm saying never throw away your religion, which you grew up with. Still can be useful. There's a lot of Catholic magic out there. Trust me on
Oh yeah.
that. Never think a book like this exists. It's called Ancient Christian Magic. You see what I'm saying?
Mm.
But
It's funny you say that because that guy right there just said that.
is the Bible a magic book? Yeah.
It is. It has a lot of incantations
Yes.
and
Absolutely. Absolutely.
My grandmother used to tell me that. She used to say Psalms. I think I forget the passage, but she used to say that all the time.
Yeah.
even the Lord's
Hoodoo is.
Prayer.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, even the Lord's Prayer. Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Hoodoo. What I was saying was hoodooists. Hoodooists use the Psalms. Period. They use a lot of the Bible. You know. But again, don't throw away anything. Don't knock anything either. Like she said, you got to start somewhere. You know. Um, you continue to be humble and a willingness to learn. You know what I mean?
Hmm. I think we got a little distortion again. Is it clear?
I was honestly, I was reading the comments. Can you hear me?
Mhm.
Is it good?
It's a little
It's a little
distorted, but
distorted again.
Uh,
this brother right here said, "My great grandmother used to make it rain by killing a snake and putting its belly up on a stick. I found a story saying it in my genealogy. That is awesome."
that is
Wow.
awesome. That is awesome. They made it seem like we were just going around talking, hey, 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 they made us look silly. But we were actually doing rain dances to feed the harvest. You know what I mean? We're doing this for a
Hmm.
reason, but they made it seem like just like they say, savages. You see what I'm saying? Um, I just recently got into westerns, and mostly the main protagonists in westerns were the Indians, or what they
Hmm.
call the Indians, or the natives. That was us too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
My great grandmother hated the Western. She wouldn't watch them. She
Oh,
felt like
really?
they depicted us all wrong.
They did. She's
Hmm.
absolutely right.
She,
She is
she said,
absolutely
"Turn that mess off."
right. um,
I mean, they're right though. How they distorted everything. They do that through history, like you said, to get us to follow the mystery man in the sky.
Yeah, it takes away your power too.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing more non-threatening than a docile brother that's won't talk back, won't look you in the eyes. I mean, no confidence. You know what I'm saying? This is
Hmm.
what they want. I could go all day on that subject alone, but this is why if you watch TV, all you see, no, no offense to anybody who's gay, but all you see is us as gay. You know what I'm saying?
Predictive programming.
Exactly, exactly. People fall for that too. So,
Yeah.
Hmm.
But that's what they
Predictive.
use. They're utilizing our traditional magic,
mm,
the things that we utilize. And like that question, we had to use it against us. It puts us, what better way to manipulate a person than to present them with something that they're comfortable with? Even though it's slightly distorted, you'll still accept it because, okay, it's familiar.
right,
Hmm.
right. Totally agree.
So these are the things that they use. These are the tactics they use to confuse us or to put us. I remember, um, I remember reading something that stated that when the colonizers came over, that they presented the tribal chiefs that they ran into with the Bible, and they read passages out of that Bible, and to our ancestors they were like, that sounds very similar, that sounds like what we have. That's what they use to connect and get in comfortable and get in good so they can, weasel their way in and steal and all of that.
Right.
Hmm.
I mean,
Because spirituality is powerful on all ends.
absolutely, absolutely. Just
Definitely.
a great example about them scaring stuff. They
That's right,
It's
Virgil.
us melanin dominant people who won't go support the Book of Clarence, and that is an awesome, awesome movie.
Oh yeah.
There's so much truth in it. But you got people saying it's blasphemy. You see what I'm saying?
Mm.
That's nonsense. It's just nonsense. It's crazy.
I think they didn't understand the movie.
Yeah, agree.
I don't think they understood it because we programmed to believe about Jesus. I mean, like the person just said, the
Right.
character they called Jesus said that we are gods in greater works. Basically what you just said earlier,
Mhm.
and that's what Psalms 82.
Yeah.
So if we are gods, like the whole thing I was just telling Phoenix in the Old Testament, when God took the flaming sword and kicked Adam and Eve out,
Mhm.
if you go to the original Hebrew word for that, it's talking about witchcraft.
Yes. Yes.
So it's like he gets to practice witchcraft, but you can't do it.
Yeah. Right. Right. Exactly. Shout out to Virgil George. She's a
That's
long
my
time
girl.
friend too. Yeah, I've known her a long time too. And Kunami and
Hmm.
Brother Ronan and Moonfeather and everybody who's in the chat. Um, my son gave me this for my last birthday. You know what I mean? Witchcraft. I mean, I collect it all because I learn it all.
Oh
You
wow.
know, this is also a book that has, spells and rituals from different sources, from different magical systems, from different places. You know, but again, I study all of it. And so I think me learning all of it, or mostly all of it, me learning all of it has gotten me to the point where I can help other people. You know,
Hmm.
27 years is a long time.
Hold on one second.
It is.
Tia, I think you're asking how can you get in touch with him? It's on the screen down here. Right there. That's how you get in touch with him.
So he has a magic supply shop. So it's the Magical Elite Supply Shop here. You also can find him on YouTube at Magic La Croix. And he also has a Patreon at Magic La Croix as well.
And the
Make
thing
sure
about that,
y'all support the brother.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
Mhm.
My Patreon and the store and everything, um, it wasn't, you know, that wasn't my goal. That's not what I got into this for. I got into it to learn and to better control my life. That's what I really got into this for. And people often laughed about how I got into it. I got into it '97 after I watched the movie The Craft. Cue
I
laughter.
love that movie.
Right? I was like, that's what I want, because I had tried up to that point. I had tried Catholicism. I tried to be in Islam and the Nation of Islam and Baptist, and I've tried so many things, apostolic, but once I saw that movie, I'm like, I want to learn that, and so it
Yeah,
kind of went from there.
yeah. There's a lot of them out there. I watched that one, of course, Sabrina the Teenage Witch,
I watched that
Bewitched,
too.
I Dream of Jeannie. All of those there
Yeah.
piqued my interest, and I wonder if this stuff is real.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Mhm.
I
They
have a
put.
question. This is a very good
Okay.
question. Sorry to cut you off, brother.
No, that
I'm
was
gonna
fine.
let you go.
No, I was just gonna say that they put facts in those movies and TV series,
Hmm.
Mm.
surrounded with laughter and comedy to make it's just entertainment. But no, they put a whole lot of facts in there. I say that all the time. But go ahead.
Well, I have two questions. Do you think that there's a significance in why they always have like a so-called witch, which means intelligence, by the way? How they have a witch always looking ugly with a little boil on her nose and stuff like that?
Yeah, I do. They because they don't want you to know that witches look like you, the ordinary people. They want to create this image that
They try to turn it
that's the
taboo.
first thing that I learned was that every people walking around are witches, not this caricature of witches that you see like back in the Wizard of Oz and all that crap. That's nonsense.
Hmm.
You know. They gave you a hint though. The witch was green, right?
Hmm.
A lot of
Right.
melanin. A lot of melanin. They painted Osiris green. You see what I'm saying?
Facts. Facts.
So
Hmm.
yeah. What was your second question?
Okay. Remember when they used to call school, and some of them, in the crowd, they might be young. Remember they used to call school grammar school?
Mm-hmm.
The word grammar comes from grimoire, which,
Exactly.
goes into like the magical spells and stuff like that.
Right.
So pretty much in school, they're conditioning our children, and even us when we went, they're conditioning us down. So they're definitely using this against us.
Hmm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The English language is full of spells.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, people say stuff, don't realize I don't say the word kids. The kids are really good. I refer my children as children, even though they're grown. But, I'm saying just simple stuff like that. These words, they have meaning. They have an origin. And words have power. They're vibrations.
Hmm.
So, I mean, that's another way of dumbing us down.
Oh
It
yeah.
really is. That's a great
Hmm.
point that you pointed out that grammar means grimoire.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I like what this sister right here just said. It goes along with everything you just said. She said they speak with a forked tongue. She said that's why they. I'm guessing
Hmm.
she said that's why.
Yeah.
That's facts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was a much needed show. Much needed.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
Absolutely.
There was a question here from Nia. She says, "Does your locks play a part?"
Mm.
Yeah. they a lot of people don't know that locks give you more psychic powers. They connect you to the universe. And that old saying, mind, body, and spirit. It was a part of our spirit. Like I said, that was one of the first things they did, is they cut our hair. You know what I mean? It literally is your antenna to the universe. So yes,
Yes.
I think that was part of the reason I said, you know what? It's time for me to grow locks.
Mhm.
I've noticed
You
Okay.
already.
mentioned, I'm sorry, you mentioned Wicca. And in Wicca, I know they use a lot of herbs and they utilize like moon magic, sun magic, and things like that. Can you give us a little information on that?
Wicca, yeah, that's where I started. I spent 10 years doing that. And I couldn't, again, now from both sides, I couldn't find a teacher or a mentor or nothing. You know, it's like everybody's trying to hide. Even Caucasian people, didn't want me to learn about witchcraft. But Wicca is born from hoodoo. You know what I'm saying? The magic circle is hoodooist, and it's the law times three of what's made up. You know what I
Yes.
mean? That's some made up crap, right? What you do will come back times three. No, it won't. You are absolutely, what's the word I want to use? You are absolutely allowed, for lack of a better word, you are allowed to defend yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They have you believing, oh, pray to God and he'll hurt. No, no, no. You do it yourself. Seek out that kind of justice. There's nothing like it, to be quite honest. Um,
Hmm.
I think a lot of the spells that's in this come from Wicca. The I mean, and basically it's basic. Drawing a magic circle, having a thame, athame. Damn, I always had a problem saying that word. An athame, which is a magic knife or chalice, to give to the goddess. Um, Again, it's all love and light though. Once I started hearing Bobby Hemmett and Azazel Bay, those two mainly, those are the two master teachers I really revere and honor. Um, that's when I started exploring the dark side, what they call
Dark
the
side.
dark side
Hmm.
magic. But that's where the power is. That's why they don't want you to have it.
Mm.
You want
So
to?
when you said a dark side, did you get into the mysticism of like Judaism and stuff? For whatever reason, I can't think of the name of it right now. It's just totally slipped my mind.
Are you talking about the
Dealing
Kabbalah?
with Kabbalah, dealing with the Qliphoth,
Wow.
yes,
Kabbalistic magic?
Kabbalistic magic,
Absolutely.
yes,
Absolutely. And think about who the actual Jews are. You know what I mean?
right.
So yeah, once you once you realize that you got to dig deep though. You do have to do your research and everything. Once you dig deep, you will see that it's all us. All these magical systems are all us. We can lay claim to them. We can absolutely
Absolutely.
do that. I can say that with all surety. It is all us,
Mhm.
including the Kabbalah.
Oh yes, oh yes. I remember diving deep into that. It actually introduced me to, or I'm not introduced me to, but made me want to get into offering services like you did. I used to have a Botanica,
Okay.
HRS Botanica. Virgil, you remember it?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And we started getting into like candle magic and things like that. Do
Mhm.
you utilize candle magic?
It's well, yeah, absolutely. It's one of the basics of witchcraft is candle magic,
Oh yeah.
and I have a magic course, Magic 101. It starts with candle magic. You know what I mean? It's the first thing I think you should learn. You know, then you go into
Mhm.
herbs and other stuff, but just the basics. This is something that I teach too. That you should have a foundation in something. Now I didn't know that when I was starting
Mhm.
out. I didn't know that. Nobody taught me. So I had to learn all of this. That's why I said if I can offer it to people who wants to get started, then so be it. I hope I can help somebody.
If you had a favorite herb, what would that herb be and why?
That was my question.
A favorite herb. A favorite. It would be High John the Conqueror.
Get out of my head. Because that
High
song
John
is
the
in my
Conqueror.
head too. I love my Ruth. Hi, John, the
Yeah,
Conqueror. Yes.
yeah. High John adds power to any spell, any ritual. So yeah, I was going to say catnip for a second, but then I'm like,
Catnip's
nah, I'll be
good.
High John. Catnip is used in love and lust magic. You know what I mean? A
Hmm.
lot of people don't know that, but yeah, but I own cats, so I like the way it does them. They start acting high and crazy and shit. I mean stuff, but
You good?
but yeah, High John would be my favorite herb for that
Oh
reason.
yeah. I'm into Rue. I'm into the cleansing and
Rue.
healing power of Rue.
Yeah, yeah.
It gets
Rue
the
is
job
great.
done. And
It
Palo,
does.
Palo
Yeah.
Mayombe. I mean, not Palo Santo,
Santo. Yeah,
Palo
I know what you meant.
Azul,
Yeah.
all the different Palos. Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone asked, where is High John? You can find your local Botanica. You can go to, I'm going to put it up here, your website here. You can
Thank you.
go to the Magical Elite Shop, supply shop, I'm sorry, and find the things that you need there. He has a lot of wonderful supplies that can get you started. He also has his Patreon here where you can take some classes and learn some things if you're interested. I feel as though if your intentions are pure, you're
Hmm.
not trying to jump in this to do some craziness or whatever,
Right. Right.
everybody's welcome. See, what ends up happening with the energies or deities or whatever you're using or dealing with, they're going to survey your heart. It's the same thing like the laws of Ma'at.
Mm.
They're going to weigh your heart.
Mm.
And the way you choose to use this stuff will return back unto you. So if you have a pure heart and you're doing this with pure intentions of love, light and good purpose, that's going to return back unto you. But if you got some ill intent, just be ready to receive that back.
Right. Right. I like the way you worded that. That's the thing too. These days, everything's a trend, and witchcraft
Hmm.
is a trend right now, and so people get into this for the wrong reasons.
Hmm.
People want fame and fortune and recognition.
Hmm.
Attention is the highest currency right now. You know what I
I
mean?
like that. Like he said
You
that. I like that.
you get if you get into this with the wrong intentions, just like she said, it's gonna come. The people that I know from like 2007, there are people who have died. There are people who have gone insane. And a lot of people that I know have gone back to religion. You know what I'm saying? So it happens one way or the other. If you don't have a pure heart, I know it sounds cliche-ish, but it's true. If you don't have a pure heart and you get into this for the wrong reasons, you're gonna regret it.
Mm.
Absolutely.
And I'm not saying that to scare anybody. It's just the way it is.
That's right. Lisa Anderson asks, was our people doing it here? She's talking about the Indians, the indigenous Americans. Yes,
Absolutely.
yes.
Yes.
Every bit of their spiritual connection you can call voodoo or hoodoo or any of these names, because all it is connecting to nature, connecting to
Right.
our higher self, reverencing that which created us, the great spirit, which in Choctaw they call Chihuahua.
Mm, right.
These are I'm telling you where this came from and how it links to other cultures overseas and other places. Because a lot of people say voodoo, hoodoo, all this stuff, well, it comes from Africa and that's it. That's not true. There's a piece of it there, there's a piece of it here, there's a piece of it in Mexico, South America, all over the world. It's pieces of it everywhere.
Hmm.
The thing that makes it so beautiful is when it all comes together because it comes together to create a whole. So if you're fortunate enough to be able to study all of these different spiritualities around the world, because you can take Hinduism, tie it in with some voodoo, and oh my gosh, you got some wonderful stuff going on. Not only are you creating magic,
Right.
but you're healing the whole vessel, the whole body, mind, body, and spirit. Take
Right.
that and tie that in with something from Korea or China, Japan,
Hmm.
then bring it on around. And you get what I'm saying? You bring it all
Hmm.
together, and
Right.
that's when you get real holistic spirituality and healing. This is
Absolutely.
the whole reason why I
Definitely.
decided to study Reiki. This is the whole reason why I went into studying voodoo, hoodoo, Palo Mayombe, Kambisa, all of these things. I put it all together and it have a whole new concept of spirituality, period.
Absolutely. Round of applause.
I like
I
that.
mean, but
She's absolutely right.
we have to understand that, see, the colonizer teaches us how to separate.
Hmm.
We got to stop separating everything because at one point in time, everything was together.
Right.
We didn't have these differences and these difficulties with each other. We all got along and we were good. We was doing trading and all kind of stuff. Everybody was
Absolutely.
making money, whatever that money was back then. You know what I mean? Everybody was creating this and sharing it with each other and all that stuff. And it's
Right.
what the last what I'm gonna say 1,000 years or so, whatever. Everything's chaotic and crazy because they taught separation.
Beautifully said. Thank you for saying that. Yes, I
Thank you.
love the
No
way you
problem.
said that. Yeah, mantras is one of my favorite things to do still. It's one of the simplest magics you can do because
Hmm.
mantras work on a quantum level. You know what I
Yes.
mean? And this is what they practice in Hinduism. That's why I brought it up because you said that. Tying it all together, yeah. I didn't start that until after I spent years, though. I spent years learning one system of magic before I would move on to another. And then,
Hmm.
you know, then I started tying it together. But she's absolutely right. Tying it together, you got a powerful system of do it yourself magic.
Hmm. Hmm. It's embedded. I like to say that it's embedded in your DNA. Just if you resonate with it, learn it
Yes.
because that's your DNA speaking to you. That's every cell in your body telling you, "Hey, this is a part of you.
Right.
I want to remember."
Right.
This person right here, I'm assuming you're Native American. They said black people taught it to us. That's a soundbite. Because you know how they be trying to attack us.
Okay.
That's a
Okay.
soundbite right there. Wow. Shanoa, are you Native American? It's all love here.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. I
I'm
just feel
sorry.
like again, like if it's something that resonates with you, just learn it. Don't be afraid. I know it's a lot of people out there that shy from these things, that are afraid of them. Go read. That's what books are for.
Thank you.
You got the internet out here where you can look up any and everything. Just do it. Don't be afraid.
And that's the thing,
You
though.
never know how
People,
it's calling to you.
right? People don't want to read. You know, they don't.
That's how they get us.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Everybody. I was just telling my wife the other day. I said everybody who has a phone, period. The cheapest smartphone is still a smartphone, and you can look up stuff. You
Yeah.
got a computer all day in your hand, looking at TikTok videos, and but won't do any research.
And stop listening to people.
Right.
I follow them on TikTok. I follow them on YouTube. I mean, I get
Right.
it. It's a lot of good information out there. You got some genuine people, but it ain't nothing like learning it for yourself.
It really isn't.
Mhm.
It
And then you
absolutely
find the right teacher. Seeking ye shall find.
That was my problem. That was my whole problem. I couldn't get no one to teach me nothing, and they would want to initiate me for like $5,000, $10,000 to go
Mm.
fly to Brazil to get an initiation. Just ridiculous crap. You know what I mean? So again, I really didn't have a choice. I just had to read, research, and then dive into it. I don't wish that. Honestly, I don't wish that on anybody. I don't. And I'm not saying that experience for accolades. That's hard. It really is. But the end result was worth it. But I didn't know that at the time when I was starting out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, it's trial and error.
It is.
And it's nothing wrong with bumping your head a couple times. Sometimes that's how people got to learn. Got a hard head, so you got to, keep going. But it
Absolutely.
is what it is. And to me, I feel like when I first decided to tap into something different, I felt like I got to a point of being tired of being lied to or being tired of finding this false information. So, it just it started to guide me and direct me to wanting. I remember I sat down at a park and I prayed. I told you guys I came out of church, so I knew to pray. But instead of, oh God, oh Jesus, it was to the creator of me and everything else that's real and natural in the world. That's what I prayed to. And I felt like I got my answer that day. Now to this day, I feel like I get confirmation everything through the elements. So wind, rain, near the water, what is the water doing? Is there some types of insects or bugs or birds or something flying around me? I feel like those are the messages. You have to pay
It is.
attention.
Mm-hmm.
In that moment, butterflies came. I said,
Yeah.
okay, so there's something there. There's something there and there's something real. That
Right.
totally changed my perspective.
Right. Yes. Absolutely.
Mm.
That's the Native Americans, they thought that insects and birds and animals, period, were messages from the spirit world. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Get the book uh, Animals Speak. I can't remember his name, but the book is Animals Speak. It tells you every totem that could possibly exist. When things like that happen, there's a reason. You know what I mean? One day I'm driving and I swear a road runner went past my car. I mean, I had never seen one before, but I went home and looked it up. And for what I was going through at that time, it made complete sense. So pay attention to your totems.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes.
You know what I mean?
So as we come to a close here, is there any last words you want to give? Any advice you would like to give to those who are seeking, their spirituality? Because that's how I look at spirituality. It's not somebody else's. Spirituality is two words: spirit and ritual.
Right. Right.
So spirit is that which dwells in you, your essence, and your ritual is that which you do repetitively and continually throughout life.
Absolutely.
What advice do you have to people who want to develop their own spirituality?
Research, read, find the right teacher, find a coach, someone who use discernment because there's a lot of scamming people out there. They just want money.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Look within, meditate. Seems to be like a foreign word to us these days. Meditate. It's really simple to go within and be honest with yourself. Is this the path I want to go? You know what I mean? Because, like I said, people get into this for the wrong reason. But if you are, find someone that's going to actually give you what you need. And there's plenty of people out here. You know what I mean? You just gotta use, like I said, use discernment to find who is going to teach me what I need to know, and be receptive, be open, because you're going to have a lot of deprogramming that you're going to have to do. We've been programmed since birth. You got to unlearn all of that. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's my advice. And
Beautiful.
namaste.
Beautiful. I just wanted to say yes to your question. I didn't want to ignore your question there. Yes, astrology is also involved.
Mhm.
So, with that
Absolutely.
being said, we thank you so much for being here. This was a beautiful
Absolutely.
show, an
Thank
awesome
you.
show.
Thank you
They
for
want
having
you
me.
back.
Okay.
Most
So,
definitely.
I
we'll
can do
most
that.
definitely be reaching that back out to you.
Okay.
You
Okay.
guys, we have another awesome show coming up next Saturday. Make sure you tune in. We have a brother who is into indigenous cartomancy, indigenous spirituality as well. A little deeper on some more energetic level. We'll get into Reiki and some other things. So you guys make sure you tune in next Saturday, same time, I believe.
Okay.
Thank you again. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Baby, you have anything you want to say?
I want y'all to support the brother. Thank you all for coming out. We always do this like every Saturday or every other Saturday. Y'all could be anywhere else in the world, as I always say, but y'all here with us. Thank you for supporting the brother. Make sure y'all go to his website. If you need genealogy services or any other services we provide, please go to peacepipetv.com. Once again, brother, I want to thank you. It's my pleasure to be on this platform with you.
Thank
I
you.
thank you so much, most definitely.
Yes, much respect. Thank you so much for having me. I had a great time. Thank you.
Absolutely, thank you. We want you to definitely come back.
Okay. Absolutely. We made it happen.
All right, peace and blessings, everybody. We want to say Shabbat Shalom to you. Until next time, peace.
Peace.